Dear friend, there's something I often say to my older patients. You don't need to remember everything. You just need to remember who you are. After 60, you may have had moments like walking into the kitchen and forgetting why, or talking with someone only to blank on an old friend's name. These things happen more often than we'd like, and many people start to believe memory is something slipping away, out of reach. But you know what? The brain is like a garden. If you tend to it with care, even in the later seasons of life, it can still bloom beautifully. And here's something many people don't realize. Part of that care begins with dinner. Because in the evening, when you rest, your brain begins the incredible work of repairing, rebalancing, and storing memories. And you can support that process, not with pills or supplements, but with simple, calming, nourishing foods right from your own kitchen. Today, I'd love to share 3 healthy evening foods that are easy to make, gentle on your body, and specially supportive of memory and nervous system health, especially for those over 60. Are you ready? Let's begin. Dish 1. Pumpkin Ginger Soup. A gentle meal for a calm and rested mind. Dear friend, when people talk about memory, most immediately think of brain supplements, pills, or omega-3 capsules. But today, I'd like you to think of something much simpler. A warm bowl of pumpkin soup, gently simmered with ginger, served in the quiet of an evening. Why pumpkin? Pumpkin is rich in beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, one of the most powerful antioxidants nature provides. After age 60, our brains become more vulnerable to oxidative stress, a condition where free radicals begin to harm the delicate cells of the nervous system. That deep orange color in pumpkin isn't just beautiful, it's nature's way of sending protection to your mind. Pumpkin also contains folate, a B vitamin that supports nerve function and helps the brain produce neurotransmitters, the tiny messengers that keep your thoughts sharp, your mood balanced, and your memory strong. And why add ginger? Ginger isn't just a spice. It's a natural anti-inflammatory known to support blood flow to the brain and reduce microvascular blockages, common in older adults and often responsible for memory lapses, dizziness, or mental fatigue. When you combine pumpkin and ginger, what you get is more than just a soothing, easy-to-digest meal. You create a gentle evening remedy, one that calms the nervous system, reduces mental tension, and nurtures your brain while you sleep. I often tell my patients, if your sleep feels shallow, filled with dreams, or if your mind seems restless at night, try replacing your usual dinner with a bowl of warm pumpkin soup. Eat it slowly, in a quiet space, and don't forget to thank your body for all the hard work it continues to do for you. Have you ever tried this simple dish? If not, maybe it's time to let your body experience something so ordinary, yet quietly wonderful. Because sometimes the sharpness of our mind in old age doesn't come from expensive treatments. It comes from how kindly we choose to feed ourselves each evening. Dish 2. Pan-seared salmon with olive oil for brain health, deep sleep, and a calm mind. Dear friend, I'd like you to imagine a peaceful evening. The kitchen light is warm. The gentle aroma of salmon, just seared to perfection, rises softly, mingling with the scent of pure olive oil in the air. You don't need to be a chef. You just need to know why this dish matters and what it can do for your brain. Salmon is one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids, especially DHA and EPA, 2 nutrients that are vital for brain function. After age 60, the structure of our brain cells starts to weaken. The membranes around those cells rely on omega-3s to stay flexible, soft, and able to send signals clearly and efficiently. A long-term omega-3 deficiency doesn't just affect memory. It can lead to forgetfulness, poor concentration, and even more serious cognitive decline. But omega-3s do more than that. They help reduce silent inflammation in the brain, one of the hidden causes of mental fatigue, mood swings, and disrupted sleep in older adults. And then there's extra virgin olive oil, a golden gift in your kitchen. It's not just a healthy fat, it's packed with polyphenols, plant compounds that fight oxidative stress, protect the brain's tiny blood vessels, and improve circulation. When you sear salmon in a touch of olive oil or drizzle it on top after cooking, you're giving your brain a restorative feast at the end of a long day. I remember one of my patients, Ms. Louise, age 71. She often struggled with poor sleep and waking up feeling foggy. We made one simple change to her dinner. Instead of fried foods, she began having lightly seared salmon with steamed vegetables and a bit of olive oil. She smiled at her next visit and said, "I've been sleeping deeper, and in the morning it feels like someone turned the lights back on in my head." Now, I'm not saying this dish is magic, but I do believe this. A dinner made with clean protein, healthy fats, and a little love for your body is a powerful foundation for restful nights and long-term brain health. Could you try this simple salmon dish at your next dinner? And if you do, don't forget to slow down. Taste each bite, as if you're feeding not just your body, but your memory, your emotions, and your gratitude. Dish 3. Warm turmeric milk with nutmeg for calm, restoration, and brain support. Dear friend, here's something you might not have thought about. Evening isn't just when your body slows down. It's also when your brain begins its nightly housekeeping. It clears away unneeded memories, heals tiny microdamages, and builds the clarity you'll need for tomorrow. And to support this gentle reset, you don't need a supplement. You don't need sleeping pills. Sometimes, all it takes is a warm cup of milk with turmeric and a touch of nutmeg to help your mind settle into a deeper, more peaceful rest. Why turmeric? Because turmeric contains curcumin, a remarkable compound known for its powerful anti-inflammatory effects. What makes it special is that curcumin can actually cross the blood-brain barrier, reaching your neurons to calm inflammation that slowly erodes memory over time. It also improves blood flow to the brain and may even stimulate the growth of new brain cells, something our aging minds still need, especially after 60. And what about nutmeg? Nutmeg has been used for centuries in traditional Indian and Middle Eastern medicine. Just a small pinch, sprinkled over your milk, brings a mild sedative effect, reduces anxiety, and supports deeper sleep. The combination of curcumin, tryptophan in milk, which promotes relaxation, and the warm aroma of nutmeg creates more than a drink. It's a gentle ritual that calms your nervous system, releases tension, and actually helps memory formation while you sleep. I remember a patient, Mr. Ricks, 70 years old, who once told me he kept waking up in the middle of the night and felt mentally drained by morning. I suggested he try turmeric milk at bedtime. 2 weeks later, he smiled and said, "Doc, I'm not just sleeping better. I started remembering old stories I hadn't thought of in years." So you see, you don't always need medicine to support your memory. Sometimes it just takes listening to your body, a warm cup of milk, and a little extra care for yourself. If tonight you're looking for something light, warm, and nourishing, not just for your stomach, but for your brain, try this golden milk with turmeric and nutmeg. You might be surprised by the quiet strength it brings to your mind. Dish 4. Oatmeal stewed with walnuts, a gentle source of energy for the resting brain. Dear friend, here's something most people don't realize. Even while your body sleeps, your brain keeps working, sorting memories, restoring energy, and quietly rebuilding itself for the next day. That's why, if you skip dinner or eat too little in the evening, your brain may not have enough fuel to repair and recharge overnight. But if you eat too much, or the wrong kind of food, you may end up feeling bloated, restless, or with blood sugar swings that disrupt your brain's natural recovery process. So what can you eat that's light, nourishing, and brain-friendly especially for older adults? My answer is simple: a bowl of warm oatmeal stewed with walnuts. Why oatmeal? Oats are a whole grain rich in soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan, which helps stabilize blood sugar levels through the night. And when your blood sugar is stable, your brain stays calm, supporting deep sleep and lowering the risk of memory issues linked to chronic sleep disruption. Oats also contain tryptophan and vitamin B1, which both support the nervous system, improve mood, and gently boost memory function. And what about walnuts? Walnuts are one of the few plant-based foods high in omega-3 fatty acids, especially ALA, which the brain converts into DHA, a vital fat for memory and cognition. A study from UCLA showed that seniors who ate walnuts regularly scored higher on memory and language tests than those who didn't. When you simmer oats with a few crushed walnuts and maybe a splash of unsweetened nut milk or coconut milk, you create a meal that's not only easy to digest, it's a quiet celebration of brain nourishment. Oatmeal calms the stomach and supports sleep. Walnuts feed the brain, and the warm, creamy texture helps settle the mind. Just one small bowl, not too much, is enough to close your day with a gentle pause and begin the night with true mental renewal. Because sometimes the most powerful support for your memory comes not from anything fancy, but from a warm bowl of care served with intention and love. Dish 5. Chamomile tea and whole grain toast. Relax your brain, support memory overnight. Dear friend, after a long day, the best thing you can do for your brain is not to push it to remember more, but to give it a chance to truly rest. It sounds simple, but in reality, many older adults go to bed with a mind still racing or with an empty stomach, which can cause blood sugar to drop during the night, waking them up suddenly, making it hard to fall back asleep, and leaving them feeling groggy in the morning. That's why I often recommend a gentle evening habit: a warm cup of chamomile tea with one thin slice of whole grain toast. Why chamomile? Because it's more than just a calming herb. It contains a compound called apigenin, a mild antioxidant that gently quiets the nervous system, helping you relax and fall into deep, restful sleep. And that deep sleep? That's when your brain strengthens memories and refreshes itself. Research shows quality sleep is one of the most important factors in protecting memory after age 60. And chamomile is your gentle guide into that healing rest. And what about the toast? Just a thin slice of whole grain bread, no butter, no sugar, is enough to stabilize your blood sugar through the night. Whole grains contain complex carbs that trigger a small, steady insulin response, which helps tryptophan enter the brain, where it's turned into serotonin and melatonin, two natural compounds that help you sleep well and support memory function. You don't need a heavy snack. Just this little pairing, warm tea and a simple slice of whole grain toast, is enough to keep your brain fueled gently so it can heal and restore itself while you sleep. And when you make this your evening ritual, you're not just caring for your body. You're whispering to your memory, you're safe now. You can rest. Dear friend, after all these years as a doctor, the moments that touch me most aren't the successful surgeries or the so-called miracle treatments. It's when I see an older adult, someone like you, still holding clarity in their eyes, warmth in their voice, and most of all, a sense of agency in their daily life. Because memory, at this stage of life, isn't just about remembering names or details of a story. It's about connection. It's about the quiet belief that you're still you, that your life still has meaning, purpose, and love to give. And as you've seen today, sometimes to nurture that part of yourself, you don't need expensive pills or complicated advice. Sometimes all it takes is a warm bowl of soup, a spoonful of walnuts, a piece of salmon, a gentle cup of tea. Each one, in its own way, is a seed for a stronger mind, planted each evening with care. If today's message resonated with you, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear which dish you've tried and what's helping you stay mentally clear and connected each day. And don't forget to hit subscribe so we can keep walking this journey together, a journey of protecting your health and your dignity in ways that are natural, meaningful, and full of love. I'll see you again very soon.